Hi, welcome to QA Scripts. In our previous video, we observed that how to download Selenium WebDriver APIs from official site, that is seleniumhq.org, and also we observed how to add the Selenium APIs to Eclipse using Java build path. In this video, we will learn how to create a Selenium WebDriver script and how to execute, and also how to make reusable components and other aspect also. Before starting, what are the things you should install in your system before starting creating a test scripts? First and foremost, you should have core Java installed in your system. Eclipse should be there, and WebDriver APIs must be integrated or added to Eclipse as a external jar files. Firefox browser should be there in your system, and for that browser you should have Firebug, Firepath and XPath checker as add-on to the Firefox browser. Apart from that, what you should know before watching this video? We have created a lot of videos about core Java concepts, so you should know core Java concept very well. You should also know how to build XPath and finding element locators, and how to work with web tables. For all this, we have created separate videos explaining each and every point about the concept. You should also know how to use TestNG. Before that, what is TestNG? How to integrate with Eclipse? For that also we have already created videos. Please watch them. If you have not watched already, then it will be easy to understand what exactly we are going to do in this video. Before we come to know what we are going to automate or how we are going to automate, let us try to understand a test case, what actually we need to be tested. Here is a test case. The first step, it says that launch browser. So it means that we need to launch any browser, but for this video we will use Firefox as a browser. After launching the browser, navigate to the URL called demo.napcommerce.com. So this is a website. It is a open source e-commerce solutions. We need to navigate to this website on Firefox browser. Third step, it says that verify category table is displayed. Here is the category table. We need to verify whether it exists or not. Fourth step, it is talking about verify following categories are displayed. In the table, we need to verify the categories. What are the categories? One is books, second one is computer, third one is electronics, fourth one is apparels and shoes, and digital downloads, jewelries and gift cards. So these are the different categories or items. Present or not, we should verify first. If there is a category called computer, then click on a computer link. Here is a computer link. So we need to click on computers link. After clicking, it will get expanded. Then verify subcategories such as desktop, notebooks, accessories and software and games. These are the subcategories. Present or not, we need to verify. So here are the links or subcategories are going to display under computers. We need to verify it. Seventh step is click on desktop. Here is a link called desktops. So click on desktops. Then click on add to cart button for first desktops. So after clicking desktops link, you will get desktops icons as well as the add to cart button below each and every desktops icon. It is asking to click on add to cart button for the first product. So this is the first product. Click on add to cart. So after clicking, a product information page will display, and here it says that select HDD radio button, that is 320 GB. So in this product information page, we will be having one radio button called HDD. The value is 320 GB. So we need to select this. The 10th step, it says that click on add cart button again. So here is the add cart button. So we need to click on. After clicking, what is the next step? The next step is close the browser. So this much is the test case it is talking about. If you interested, you can go ahead and create test steps to click on shop cart. After clicking shopping cart, after clicking shopping cart, you can click on this checkbox and click on checkout, or you can also select the country and enter the zip code. So these are all the different scenarios you can automate on your own, but for this video we will stop after clicking add to cart button on the product information page. How to automate these steps using Selenium WebDriver? Let us open Eclipse first, and let me open navigator view so that it will be easy to understand how to create a class, how to create a different folder structure if needed. Of course, if you are comfortable with the package explorer, you can go ahead and work with, but for the beginners, I always suggest to work with navigator view. If navigator is not displayed, for example, sometime after opening the Eclipse, by default package explorer will be opened. To open navigator view, you can go to Windows, show view, and click on navigator. Then you'll get a navigator view at the left side. Now before creating a class, let us create one project, and let us name it as a e-com, because the application what we are going to work is, it's a e-commerce application. So let us give a project name as e-com. So let me create one project. How to create a project? Right click on navigator view, click on new, and as of now let us create a Java project. So after clicking on project, it will ask what kind of project you would like to create. Let's take it as Java project and click on next. After clicking on next, it will ask the project name. As I said, we are working with the e-commerce website. So let's give a project name as e-commerce, and just finish. Now a project got created here. If you are using Core Java 7, and if the Eclipse version and Core Java version are same or less than Eclipse, if you are using a Core Java version less than Eclipse, then it will give difficult or it will throw some errors in the future. To avoid this, please check once whether you are using JRE 1.7 or not. To do that, right click on your project, go to properties. In the properties, you'll be having one option called Java compiler. Click on Java compiler. Here my project is pointing to JRE 1.4, but the version of my Eclipse is more than 1.4. Hence it will throw some errors or some issues at the time of writing the script. To avoid this, what actually you have to do is you have to select the higher version of JRE. How to do it? Uncheck this checkbox, select 1.7 from the drop down, click on apply, say yes and click on OK. Now the second step what we have to do before starting creating a test script is we need to add Selenium WebDriver APIs. If you have already added, well and good. Since I have created a new project, so I need to add a Selenium WebDriver APIs. How to add? Again, right click on project. Some people, they will right click on SRC and they will try to add. Please don't do it. Instead of it, right click on your project and click on properties. Here there is a one option called Java build path, and at the right side we have different fold tabs. I can say that one is source, another one is projects, and the third one is libraries. The fourth one is order and export. Let us not worry about other tabs at this time. So click on libraries and click on add external jar files. The Selenium WebDriver APIs or jar files are developed by other than Java developers. Hence all the jar files which are developed by other people is going to consider as external jar files for this Eclipse. Hence we need to add as a external jar files. After clicking add external jar files, you will get a window to select jar files. Here go to the folder where you have Selenium WebDriver APIs or jar files. So here I have different versions of Selenium WebDriver APIs, but the updated one is 2.44.0. So let me open it. Inside Selenium -2.44.0 folder, we have 2 jar files and 1 libs folder. So first let us add these 2 jar files. So select both of them and click on open. So here we have added 2 jar files. It is not completed here. Click again, add external jar files. This time open libs folder and select all and click open. So now all of the jar files have been added here. So these are all Selenium WebDriver jar files. Let us click on OK. So now we are added or integrated with the Eclipse all the required softwares jar files. So we are ready to develop a Selenium WebDriver script. Of course, before that you need to check whether test-ng is installed or not. To test it, you can click on help in your Eclipse, click on install new software. It will open one window. Here there will be one link called already installed. So click on already installed. If it is already installed, testng, if you have already configured, then the information will be present here. If it is not installed, then there will not be any information as I showed. If it is not present, then try to integrate testng to your Eclipse. To do that, please watch my videos where I have explained clearly how to add testng as a add-on to your Eclipse. So now let us start creating a class and let us write some of the lines or statements where we can perform some actions and automate all the steps what we have got as a manual test case and manual test steps. To create a class, right click on src folder, go to new and select class, and we need to give a name for it. Since the test case name is by desktop, let us give the same name here. So what I am going to give here is by desktop or desktops, either of one is okay. Let us have public static void main checkbox selected. Now click on finish. After clicking on finish, you will get a class created with a name called by desktop. Here there will be some unwanted lines of code. You can just remove them. And let us use a Selenium WebDriver jar files, classes as well as interfaces. There is a one interface called WebDriver. First and foremost, we need to use Selenium WebDriver interface and Firefox driver class, which is implemented from WebDriver interface. By using Firefox driver class, we need to create a object. Let us do it first. Here is a keyword called WebDriver. This is a interface, because when you type control space bar, you can immediately see this is I is nothing but interface. What is interface, how can we use it, and all other things have been explained in my previous videos. Please watch them if you don't know what is interface. Right now I have used keyword called WebDriver. Since the WebDriver is present in some other package, the Eclipse is giving me error to create a class or a local variable, because it is not understanding what is WebDriver keyword. If we want to make our Eclipse to understand what is WebDriver, we need to import the package. In the sense, we need to tell to Eclipse where the WebDriver interface is present, in what folder or what file or what package this WebDriver is present. If you tell the path of the folder or package, then Eclipse will be in position to understand. To tell or to explain where it is present, just click on control space bar, then you will get a window like this. Here it will be having information of WebDriver, where it is present, in what package it is present. Here is the information: org.openqa.selenium. This is a package. In this package, Selenium WebDriver, that is WebDriver package, is present. Click on this. As soon as you click on here, there will be a one line. It has got published saying import org.openqa.selenium.webdriver. So using this WebDriver interface and the class called Firefox driver, let us create a object. So what object name I would like to give here is, it's a driver. If you want, you can give any other names, but it is advisable that driver is the one most frequently we are going to use. So give it as a driver. So the object name what I have given is driver, then equals to, I will use new keyword because I am creating object using a class called Firefox driver. So here is a Firefox driver. It is present in the package called org.openqa.selenium.firefox driver. Select this. Automatically it will add the package import statement at the top, and here the object WebDriver as the object driver as created. Now after creating, if you execute this script, what happens? It will launch the Firefox browser. Let us see whether it's working or not. So here I am running as a Java application. So let us directly click on run. If there are no issues, it will launch the browser. So it will take 10 to 15 seconds to launch the browser. So there are no errors, hence Firefox browser got launched, and here is the browser. Let us close this, and it has opened in minimized or restored condition. Let us make it maximize. How to maximize it? You need to use driver object, then type dot, and there is a one method called manage. Use that. Again type dot, there is a one more method called window. Use that. After that type dot, and there is a one more method called maximize. So this statement will help you to maximize the Firefox browser. After maximizing, I want to navigate to URL called nap commerce. So let me take the base URL, that is demo.napcommerce, it's a nopcommerce.com. So here I will take this particular website and I will use driver dot. There is a very important method called get. So use that get method. In double quote, place the URL. Please remember, you should not type www dot and the URL. Always use http:// and followed by URL. So in this syntax or in this format, the WebDriver will accept the URL, otherwise it will throw error. So now let us execute this piece of code and let us observe what actually the WebDriver is going to do. So as usual, it will launch the browser, that is Firefox browser. This time it will maximize and it will place a URL what I have given. So if you look at the steps of my test case, I have automated the first step, that is launch browser. Yes, it is launching the browser. The second step is navigate to the URL. Yes, we have used same URL and it is navigating without any errors, right? Hence let us make these two steps as automated. Say yes. Okay, Then third step, let us try to automate. What actually third step is talking about is verify category table is displayed. To do that, we need to know the element locator of this particular table, where exactly this table is present in the HTML page. If you don't know how to identify the elements and how to build XPath, please watch the video where I have explained how to create XPath on our own. Before that, what is XPath and what is its importance. So that video will explain everything. So if you are not aware about element locators and XPaths, please watch the video what I have created. Now I will try to get the XPath of this particular table. To find out what is the element locator of this table, let me use Firebug and let me click on that particular table. So this is a table I would like to identify, and this table is getting identified by XPaths. Let me not take same XPath. Instead of that, I will build my own XPath in the same format, because I don't want to use numbers in between the XPath. And why I don't need to use numbers, I have explained in the video of XPath, working with XPath video. Please watch that. Here is the XPath what I have built. So let me use it, and let me take it out first, and let me open view XPath and place the XPath. If it is correct and if there are no errors or any other unwanted stuffs, automatically it will give one match found and the related elements in this window. It means that the XPath what I have built is correct and pointing to the expected object or element in the application. How to automate and how to verify whether the table is present or not. To do that, we need to use a important and highly reusable method called find elements. How to use? First type driver dot find element. Here is the find element. After typing find element, you have to type by dot. This is the format we need to follow to identify any element. In this find element, we need to send arguments. What are the arguments are? By dot. By is again another class. After typing dot, you'll be able to see different sets of element locators such as class name, CSS locator, ID, link text, name, partial link text, tag name, and XPath. So based upon the element, how it is getting identified, on that we have to use the element locators here. So my table, that is category table, is getting identified by XPath. Hence let us take this XPath here. It will ask XPath expression in double quote. Put the XPath what we have built by using view XPath window. After using driver dot find elements by dot XPath, at the end put a semicolon so that there won't be any errors. After using find element by dot XPath so and so, let me add this line, entire line, to a variable. So here I will create one variable having data type as web element. So I have created a variable called category table, so which is relevant to that particular table. It is giving error because the variable I have not created with data type. So it is asking what is the data type for this variable. So let me not use string or any other data types. Instead of that, let me use a interface called web element as a data type. So here this is a interface which is present in a package called org.openqa.selenium. Let me import it. So here is the definition of that particular package. Now there are no errors. Let me use the variable, that is category table, and let me verify first the table is present or not. To do that, we need to use variable dot. There is a method called is displayed. Is displayed in the sense it will give or it will return true if element or a table is present. If it is not present, it will return as false. And there is another method called is enabled. It means that it will verify whether element is enabled or disabled. So as of now, we need to verify whether the element or a table exists or not. So I will use is displayed. Since this entire line will return true or false, let me place this particular line into if loop. So here I will use if, and inside the if bracket I will place that condition saying category table is displayed. Inside this I will use as of now system.out.println, and here I'll say table is present. You can give your own messages. As of now I'm just trying to give one message called table is present. If not present, so I will use else, and in this else part I will say table is not present. So let me execute this piece of code. If element is present or table is present, this message will display in console. If element is not present, then the table is not present message will display. So I have started execution. Launched the browser and placed the URL. I think now the processing has completed. The script execution must have completed. Let's see the result. So here is the result in a console saying that table is present. In the sense, it is identifying table and it is saying that table is exist in an application. So the third step of my manual test case is also automated. So let me say yes under automated column. The fourth step is verify following categories are displayed. So here I need to verify whether the table has different categories. To do that, first I need to get the element locators of each and every elements. So first one is book. If you closely observe the XPath, here it says that HTML body div 4, div of 1, div of 4, div of 1, div of 2 and div of 1. So let me move to my cursor on second element. So first element, here it says that ul/li, li is li stands for link. So link of 1/a. Second element, it says that li of 2 in XPath of Firebug, and the third one says it's li3, li4, li5, li6 and li7. So each and every link is differentiated by one number. Here first element is getting identified by XPath, but if you look at this XPath, only the number is getting changed from one element to another element. Here now li of 1 is present for books. For computers, li2 is present here in XPath, and for electronics it's 3. For apples and shoes it's 4. Digital download it's 5. For jewelries it's 6, and for gift cards it is 7. Let me show here. So it is a li7. So we have to find out whether the elements are present or not. We can use this XPath, but the one number is getting changed. Instead of creating 7 XPaths, what we can do, we can use one XPath only, but the point or the one it is getting changed again and again. Let us use some variables, and we will replace that variables by number, so that one line of code will verify all of these elements. So how to do it? Let us use XPath. Here I have built my XPath. So let me go to View XPath, and here is my XPath what I have built. So here what I am doing, I am taking the XPath till li. So I am not taking any numbers. If I say li of 1, then it will pointing to book. So I don't, let me not take li of 1, and I will just take li, so that it will pointing to all the links or categories which are present in the table. So it will help us to first find out how many rows are there. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 rows are there, and this generic XPath will point to entire rows. What are the different rows are there? So all the rows are coming under this XPath. If I make it as li of 1, only first row will come. It's very specific to only one row. I don't want to make it very specific to one row. Instead of that, I'm using generic XPath, so that it will point out to all the rows present in that table. So let me use this XPath in Eclipse. How to use? As usual, use driver dot. This time let me not use find element. Instead of that, I will use find elements. Then question comes, what is the difference between find element and find elements? Find element will return only one object. If it is only on one object, such as a link or a button or a drop down or a radio button. So at that time you can use a find element. It will return only one element, and you can use different methods such as dot click or dot clear. It will act as per the method you are going to select. But here the table has more than one value, hence let me use find elements. As I said, this find elements will return more than one object, so I should assign to a variable. It should not be a single variable, it should be an array. Before that, let me use the same format here. Find elements by dot XPath, and let me give the XPath what I have built as a parameter here, and entire line I will assign to a variable. So here I have created a variable called category table lists, but this is the driver dot find elements is going to return multiple values or multiple elements. Hence, let me not make it as a int data type or string data type variable. Instead of that, let me make it as a array. But again, we know what are the different disadvantages of array. So let me not use array. Instead of that, I will use list here. And as usual, I will import a list from package called java.util.list. If you don't know what is list and how to use, then please watch a video I have created for working with the list. So here, instead of making this as generic list, I'll make this as a very specific to web element, because this is an element which is present on web, and there is a interface called web element. That web element interface will help us to work with that particular element using different methods like dot click, dot send keys, so and so. Hence, I will use a interface called web element. So now this list will be having the element which has got return, which have got return from the line called driver dot find elements. Now let me say system dot out, and here I will say number of items or categories, and I will try to display the numbers, how many categories are present inside the category table. So to do that, what I'll do, I'll use a category table list dot, there is a method called size. So this will give you the result saying how many entries or rows are present in a table called categories. So in this table, how many rows are present. So as per our understanding, there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So totally there are 7 rows. After finding out how many rows are there, then it's a time to retrieve the text of each and every link. Since I need to iterate multiple times, I will use for loop. Inside the for loop, I will say I equals to 1, because the rows are starting from 1 here. So I'll say int I equals to 1, I less than or equals to the size of that particular table, that is category table list dot size, then I plus plus. So here is the for loop what I have created. So inside the for loop, let us try to find out the each and every row's text. So as we know, this is a element locator or XPath to identify the elements or rows of that particular table. But this will not be helpful to identify the text of that particular row, because each and every row has a number. For example, li1, it will point to the first row having a link called books. Second one will point to another row where it is having a text or link called computers. So here, if I go on creating XPaths, I need to create 7 different XPaths. Instead of creating 7 different XPaths, I will make I will create a variable inside li of. So let me create one variable, then let's see how to do it. So what actually I will do here is I will use a keyword or a variable called iterator inside the bracket. with percentage signs. So this is necessary to replace dynamic values. So I'll use this entire XPath inside the driver dot find elements. Let me write it, driver dot find elements. Let me check whether it's a find element or a find elements. Sorry, before using driver dot find elements, I need to replace this by I or the numbers, right? What I will use, I will assign the entire line to a variable called locator. Okay, let me say string here, and entire line I will put it into double quote so that it will act as string. Now we need to replace this by I. So how to replace this by I? So I cannot directly place I. Instead of that, I will use one conversion here. What actually I will do here is, I will say integer dot toString I, and the entire line I am going to assign to another string variable called n. Why I am doing like this is, I is int data type, whereas the XPath is present inside the double quote, so it is a string. So I and string, strings are int and strings are going to have conflicts. To make it one, I need to convert from int to string or string to int. So I have to do casting. So what I am trying to do here is, I am trying to convert the I into string. So this is how we can use. If you don't know what is casting and how to do a casting from one data type to another data type, please again watch. There are videos what I have created in Core Java playlist in YouTube. So here I am using integer dot toString and assigning to a variable called n. So now this n I will going to use and replace this iterator keyword. How to do it? Let us see. I will use locator variable, and there is a one method called replace all. So this replace all is a method from string class. Let me use this. So what to replace? I need to replace this iterator by what? By n. So here I will say n, and here I will say iterator. So here I am saying, please replace percentage iterator percentage by n. So what is the n? N is nothing but value of I. So if it is first iteration, value of n will be 1. So this will get 1 value here. So entire XPath will become li of 1. So li of 1 is going to point out first row, that is books. When iterator goes back because of for loop, I becomes 2. At the same time n becomes 2, and here li becomes li of 2. So li of 2 is going to point out next row text. Like that it will try to iterate multiple times. So here let me assign this entire line to variable called locators. Instead of creating one more locator, or instead of creating one more variable, I am just using same string variable, that is locator. So now this locator will be having replaced XPath, means whatever I, that value will be replaced, and that entire XPath will be present in the locator element variable. So let me use this as a element locator now. if you look at the Firebug and XPath, how it is getting identified, each and every line is, it is li of number slash a. So by this only it is identifying. So let us add slash a. So how to add slash a? I will say locator, that is XPath. Then I will use ampersand and I will say slash a in double quote. So let me assign entire line to another variable called locator1. Even I can use locator only, the same variable, but to avoid confusion, I'm just using a, or I am just declaring another string variable called locator1 and assigning this line to locator1. So now locator1 will be having the XPath or updated XPath along with slash a. Now I will say driver dot find element by dot XPath locator 1. Since I want to get the text of each and every link, so let me use one method called get text, which is coming from web element. So here I am using driver dot find element by XPath locator 1 dot get text. So this will get first text, that is books, when I is 1, second text, that is computers, when I is 2, and it goes on iteration till for loop exists, till that the loop will iterate and it will try to display the text of particular links. Let me create one a string variable and assign this line. So I will say string categories equals to, okay, here I am saying category table elements, because each and every element is getting extracted. So I am just declaring one string variable saying that category table elements equals to driver dot find elements by XPath locator 1 dot get text. Let me print all the links text by using system.out.println. Here I am saying category elements, and I'll just display all the elements out here. By this I have automated fourth step as well. Let me say yes for under automation under automated column. Now let us look at fifth line. Here I want to click on computers link. So if this variable, that is category table elements variable as computers link, then only I need to click on. So for that I will just say whether this particular variable as computers link or not. If it is having, then only click on. To do that, first what I will check, I'll check this category elements is equals to computers. Let me say category table elements, sorry, and there is a method called is equals ignore case, and here inside the is equals ignore case I'll say computers. So what happens, if both are matching, then only it will return true, else it will return false. So let me put this into if loop. I have used trim also because sometime it will be having spaces before or after the text. To avoid, I am just using trim. So if computers link is present or text is present, we need to click on that link. So to click on, I will use driver dot find element by dot XPath, here locator 1. So this locator 1 will be having updated XPath along with /a. So that I will use here, and I will say .click. Let me use one system.out.println to tell a message saying that computers link is present if the condition is true, else I will say computers link does not exist or is not present. So let us execute this piece of code and see how it is executing and how the links are displaying if everything is working perfect. Let's execute this. So now it will launch a browser first. It will place URL. And it's going to verify the table, and it will click on computers. Yes, it is clicked on computers, hence the table got expanded. If you look at the console, here all the messages what we have used inside the script are getting printed. The first and foremost I think there is an error here. What is the error? Let us see first. Okay, the table is present. Yes, the message is coming out. And number of items or categories 7. Yes, it's coming out. And here it says that a category element books, and inside that there is a message called computers link is not present. I don't know why it is saying not present and even after clicking. So let me verify it first. Then as usual, it is saying element category elements computer, and here it's a present. And for others, okay, yeah, it is correct actually. So what actually it's happening here is first it is checking with books. So at the line number 27, this will not return as true because I'm trying to compare with computers text. So obviously it will come to else part and it will say computers link is not present. Then here it's saying that element category elements is computer. At this time it will be printing out message called computers link is present, and for others as usual computers link is not present. Message is getting printed out. If you are only working with computers link, then it is not necessary to use system.out.println in else part. So just delete this part. Okay, now it will not print negative messages even if it is not compared. Now it's the time to identify these sublinks. What are the sublinks? If the computers having subsets or subcategories, then click on desktop. So this is what the step 6 will tell. So we have automated step 5 as well. So let me say yes here. So 6th step of my manual test case is talking about verify following subcategories are displayed in computers category. So if I want to find out subcategories, let me try to identify element locators. So these subcategories also getting identified by XPath, but this time here after li2 is nothing but it is pointing out to computers. After that also we have ul, so this is a one sublist, and li1, and inside that /a, so that it will give desktop text. So what actually we need to have is we need to add ul, so, right? Ul is nothing but it is having a attribute called class and it has a name called sublist. and here li class inactive. So let us use eval along with the class and try to build generic XPath not having a number inside the li. Instead of that, again we can use a variable such as percentage iterator, and later we will replace it by numbers. So here I will use a locator. Locator is already a variable, string variable having updated XPath but not having slash a. Slash a is not necessary to identify subcategory, only the main category. If you want to identify main category, then only slash li is necessary. That is added at the line number 24, where we have assigned to another variable called locator1. Now let me use locator because this is a common XPath for category and subcategory items. So here I am saying locator and using ampersand, and remaining part I am trying to append, that is slash eval @class sublist slash li. Again I'm not going to use numbers as I explained here. So I don't want to use numbers. I'm just trying to append this li along with the class attribute, and it's a class here. Sorry, the name of that particular class what developer has given is sublist. So I have used that particular keyword. The entire line I'm going to assign to another variable called sublist XPath. The variable data type is string class. So using this XPath, I will try to identify how many rows are present in that sub list table. So I will use driver.findElements because we need to get return more than one element. So I'm using driver.findElements by.xpath sub list XPath, same XPath, and since it's going to return multiple elements, I will use list element, and I will create one variable called category table sublist. This is a new variable. I'm going to use it for sublist as well. So same logic, I'll put category table sublist variable into for loop so that I can iterate, but this time I will use int j equals to 1 and j less than or equals to category table sublist dot size and j plus plus, whereas in above for loop I have used I equals to 1, I less than or equals to category table list dot size I plus plus. So inside the for loop, what I will use? I will use m equals to integer dot to string because I want to convert int variable into string variable, and here I have XPath, that is locator plus eval class equals to sublist. Here instead of using a hard-coded value as 1 or 2, I will use a variable called percentage iterator 1. So again, as usual, I am going to replace that iterator 1 by m by using replace method of string class. So now it is a time to append slash a because each and every sub elements or sub categories element is getting identified by slash a, again as usual what I have explained for main category list. So I will just use ampersand and slash e. So here I have used sublist locator ampersand a and assigned to a variable called sublist locator 1 to get a text of particular category list. As usual, driver dot find element, and let me use by dot xpath, and let me pass expression as sublist locator 1, and at the end I will say get text, and I will assign enter line to another variable called category table sublist elements, sub category table sub elements of string data type, and I will try to print it out saying that category element. Let me say category sub element so that it will be easy to identify. Again I will use if loop and I will compare to expected value. So here I'm expecting desktop should be there. So for that I'm using category table sub elements dot trim dot is equals to or equals ignore case. If it is returning true, then I will say system dot out dot println, and I will say one message saying that desktop is present. If it is present, then what is next? We need to click on that link. So we can use driver dot find element by dot xpath sublocator. Sublocator is the one variable. It's going to have updated xpath along with /a so that I can directly click on it. So by this we have automated 6th as well as 7th test step. Now 8th one is click on add to cart button. So after clicking on desktops, what object we are going to get here is the images of all the desktops. We need to click on add cart link, or it's actually button which is present under the first desktop. So to do this, let us try to identify the element locator of this add to cart. So this is getting identified by xpath again. So let us take this xpath and say driver dot find element dot click. So here I will say driver dot find element dot click. So it will click on add to cart button. So the line step 8 is also automated. The next step is, it says select HDD radio button. So in application, after clicking add to cart, so it will come to product information page where there will be radio button under HDD label. So we need to click on. So let us try to identify element locator. So this is getting identified by ID. So we will use this ID and we'll say driver dot find element dot click. Let's say here, so driver dot element find element by dot ID. This time I'm not using xpath because element is getting identified by ID. So the same ID I'm using here. So step 9 is also automated. Now after clicking radio button in application, this radio button, we need to click on add to cart button which is there here. So let us try to identify what element locator for this button. So it's getting identified by ID. So let us use this ID and develop a statement saying that driver dot find element by dot ID, and that ID I have given here, and I have used dot click so that it will click on add to cart button. By this, line number 10, that is step number 10 is also automated. At the end, we need to close the browser. To close the browser, we should not do anything inside here. We should come out of that for loop, because for loop is the one where we are trying to iterate so many times. So here, okay, not exactly for loop, it is a if loop. So where it is getting end, it is getting end at the line number 54. So after 54, I will say driver dot find elements. Let me say driver dot quit only instead of close. So I'll say driver dot quit. So this will close the browser. By this we have automated line number 11 also. So all the steps of manual test cases have got automated. Let us try to execute and see whether it's working fine or not. So after clicking on radio buttons and add to cart and closing the browser as per the steps what we have written here. So we have automated all the steps. Let us try to execute this piece of code or script. Running is started. The script running is started. It will open browser and it has maximized and placing the URL. Now it's going to search the table and its items. If it is present, then it will click on computers. Yes, it has clicked on computers link, and the set has been launched, and it will search desktop. Yes, it is present and it has clicked. Now it will click on add to cart. Yes, it has clicked on add to cart and product information page has displayed. Here it will select HDD having a 320 value of radio button, and then it will close it. I think something went wrong. Let me re-execute it again. Maybe timing issues. So I'm just re-executing. So it got clicked on computers link. Clicked on add to cart. Selected radio button and close the browser. So the complete test case got executed successfully. This is a basic way of automating one script, but here we have used so many lines of code. Those codes are going to replaced, or we can say that we're going to group it according to the flow. We'll make them as a functions or methods, and later we'll make them as a reusable methods when it comes to framework, and when we start using testng annotations and reporter.log methods, we're going to replace system.out.println methods by reporter.log. By that we will be able to get separate HTML report instead of getting messages in the console what we have observed. So those activities we're going to do in next video. So that is a continuation of this video. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions or doubts, you can mail us using the mail IDs, that is info@qascripts.com, or you can also send us mail using another mail ID, that is qascripts25@gmail.com. You can also call us on the number, that is 8095916908. Thank you again.